Warm, dry weather welcomes the teams and the spectators to Silverstone. As the grid forms up for the opening round of the year, it's a new format this year. 2 races of 40 minutes duration with a mandatory pit stop, which involves a driver change for those cars which have 2 drivers, and not if they don't, obviously. And you can see the Ginettas just burning a little bit of rubber there, coming off the line. Michael Mallock was right, the G50s are fastest in free practice and on pole for this race. Mallock just less than half a second adrift of Joe Osborne in that silver number 52 there. All 4 Ginettas are in the top 5. There's just a stray Aston Martin spoiling their party, and there it is, number 32. Joe Osborne in 52, the silver Ginetta. Then it's Michael Mallock, Nigel Moore, Stuart Lynn in 51, that's the red one. And behind that you can see the Aston Martin of Vladimir Hladek and the white Mustang of Francois Kick. Round on to the start-finish straight they come in grid order, looking to the overhead gantry for the signal that says the 2009 GT4 European Cup is go. Look at Mallock go, pouncing on that silver number 52 Ginetta. Joe Osborne being swallowed up whole as Mallock goes down through Maggots and Beckett's out towards the bottom end of the Silverstone circuit. Ginetta's in formation behind him. The blue one, number 15, Nigel Moore, and the red car behind that, the number 51 of Stuart Lynn. Absolutely living up to Mallock's prediction that they're a bit too quick, but Stuart Lynn dropping off the back of the pack, and Osborne having a look up the inside, nice and easy, through he goes, and behind him Nigel Moore wanted a bit of that as well, but he didn't get it. These Ginettas then very quick, we haven't seen them before in this championship, they're very light, Ford V6 engines, 300 horsepower, and just trying to monster away past Mallock now. Stuart Lynn giving him grief as Mallock tries to hang on to Osborne, who's trying to make his escape. And these 3, as you can see, in a little race of their own. In the background there, just a glimpse of the red number 51, Stuart Lynn dropping right back as up onto Mallock's tail comes Nigel Moore. Once again looking for his opportunity to make it a Ginetta 1-2. We're pretty much in pole, in grid order here. And there again, a glimpse of Lynn in the background, and that was a BMW behind that, the first of the M3s coming into view. Let's have a look and see which one it was as we look back up the field. It's the one with the dark stripes, which makes it the number 18 of Andre Grammatico. Watching on the pit wall to see how this race pans out, and still Mallock is, goes wide, and that's got to cost him the place. Indeed it has. Through goes that number 50, just as easy as you like. Nigel Moore took advantage of that, and you could see how hard Mallock was trying in that Aston Martin. And there's the replay. He followed the Ginetta in front of him onto the wide line, but lost the back end of the Aston Martin. But that G50 just hooked up and went, and that's why, perhaps, look, there's smoke and flames coming out from underneath. He spun again, and that looks to me like an oil leak. And it could well have been oil on the tyres, which cost him that place and now, in fact, the race. Here's that number 17 BMW of the Dutchman Kevin Veltman getting in the thick of it with the other Aston Martin in our field. That's Vladimir Hladek getting jumped on there, and it's very busy. Back end of this little tail, you can see the Super Sport of the Donkervoort coming up behind. And leading the group is Lucas Ordonez, the PlayStation champion, who's coming to real racing, doing a great job of fending off this little pack, but they are getting very racy behind him, and you can't help thinking that his time at the head of this group is numbered. Veltman particularly getting aggressive, Hladek there, and it's the 103 Donkervoort, and that is Dennis Donkervoort. And behind that, another of the Ginettas, that's Henry Fletcher behind that. And the little Super Sport seems to be in the wrong company, doesn't it? But they are so light and so quick, and coming right up to mix it with the faster cars. I say faster cars, they have their own grid this year, which means they start further back. And the pit stop rounds have begun. Number 18 in Grammatico, handing over to the young Pierre Brice-Menard, who was... Oh, and he's in reverse. Whoops, get the right gear. And away he goes. Very quick last year in GT3. And what have we got here? Pit stop time. In comes that number 6, handing over from Henry Fletcher to Hunter Abbott in pit lane. It's a mandatory pit stop. It has to happen between fixed points, and it has to take 70 seconds, so there's no need to rush it. There's plenty of time, and in fact, if you go out too soon, then you will find yourself penalised by a stop-go penalty of the difference between the time you took and the time you should have taken. 70 seconds here at Silverstone from pits in until pits out. So it's looking a bit like Ginetta Benefit up front at the moment. In comes the number 23 Nissan and Rick Pearson, handing over to Derek Palmer. Pearson being bundled out over the roll cage. You can see that strut going right across the door opening, makes it very difficult to get in and out. In now into the pits comes Nigel Moore, ready to hand over to Jodie Firth. No rush in pit lane. Time to check the car, get the incoming driver properly strapped in. And that's the number 1 Mustang, and it stopped, almost stopped on track. It's obviously got a problem. Eric de Donker, last year's champion, has gone up to GT3 this year, but our race leaders are on the last lap, and we have a new race leader, and it is that number 50, came out of the pits ahead of 52. So Jodie Firth here leading Mike Broadhurst through the bottom of the circuit and up towards the complex, and then the checkered flag that awaits them after 40 minutes. And what a debut this has been in GT4 for the Ginettas. Fastest in practice, pole position, and now not only leading the race towards the checkered flag, but being the dominant force. You have to say there's been a lot of racing through the midfield, but the front end of this race has been all about the arrival of the G50. And of course, this is a British-built car, comes from Leeds, not a million miles from Silverstone, and so it's going to be a home win on their debut, and that's going to cheer up an awful lot of people in Yorkshire. And there is the checkered flag. Over the line goes Jodie Firth, and behind him Mike Broadhurst. Ginetta a 1-2 on their debut, and 103. Donkeville finishes 3rd overall, winning Supersport. Great result for him, but a great result for Team LNT and Ginetta on their GT4 debut outing.
Yeah, it was a good race. Nigel had a good first stint. He managed to stay with Joe. We had a great pit stop. We'd practiced the driver changes and made sure they were very slick. Had a really good outlap, and then on my second flying lap I just noticed he'd come out 2 or 3 seconds behind, so just a case of maintaining the gap. The tyres were going off, so it was making it difficult, but got right in the end. I think it was by 2 tenths, so it was close.
It was indeed close, and there's a chance to see if they can do it again in the second outing in just a moment. Forming up on the grid for round 2 of the 2009 GT4 European Cup. Race 1 was all about Ginetta, so is this one really. But we've got Michael Mallock on pole. Mallock now takes control of the pack, brings them round at a steady pace, so the starter can say, yes, the grid is in good shape and it's looking good as they come round Woodcote onto the start-finish straight. The green light over the track goes on and we are racing. Mallock got jumped. Oh, look, there's cars all over the place. And that was very definitely the Ginetta of Jodie Firth there. And there it is, stranded in the middle of the track. Well, that's got to bring out the safety car and the yellows. Here we go down the hill. They don't know about it here. Stuart Lynn and Michael Simpson's number 51 got away and jumped pole. But look at that. I can't see still what happened except that it involved 2 cars. It was the BMW of Pierre Brice-Menard And look at this, Alex Buncombe has grabbed the lead going down the hill from Mike Simpson, and then it's Mallock behind, and then it's Hunter Abbott in, and there's a queue of Ginettas as we go for the restart. So Alex Buncombe qualified well in the Nissan and got a great start and a great opening. That bit of cement dust there on the oil that went down when those two cars collided. Couldn't see a thing about what happened there, and you can see what's happening here. Look at this. Coming back through the field is the Ginetta of Mike Broadhurst, persecuting now Kevin Veltman. Aston Martin behind is Vladimir Hladek. There's the first of the Super Sports, and again it looks like Dennis Donkavoort is the quickest of them all. And Veltman in front of Broadhurst, and now behind is the number 5. That'll be Matt Hamilton. So 2 Ginettas behind the BMW. Now they were the class of the field in race 1, the Ginettas, and that was Mallock going into pit lane. I'm sure I saw the Aston Martin pulling off. He had problems in race 1. That's a very early dive into pit lane. Here he is. Well, remember, pit lane doesn't open until we've done 14.5 minutes of racing, and here is racing indeed. And as we saw earlier on, that number 5 of Matt Hamilton was getting very aggressive behind Mike Broadhurst. Now he's gone through. I think this is Donkavoort leading the Super Sport class and in 7th place overall, 3rd in the opening race. Very strong indeed. Out of the pits come this little queue, all coming out together. Veltman, Osborne's taken over from Broadhurst, and in comes the race leader. Now, can Luca Ordonez go to as well today as he did yesterday? He put in a fine performance, slightly monstered by a few of the cars here, but generally speaking, that was a good outing for a man who came here through PlayStation and took his first actual race in Dubai in the 24 hours with Alex Buncombe and Johnny Herbert, no less. And we got real racing going on again between the BMW of Veltman and the Ginetta. Same car, different driver. Joe Osborne has taken over, and the place swapping continues. And this is Lucas Ordonez trying to find a way past the Ginetta of Stuart Lynn now, and not finding an opening there, but the Nissan looking very quick and a little bit twitchy there. He's tucked right up behind, dives out from the slipstream again. Veltman has got his way past the Ginetta, but Ordonez couldn't get his way past, so we've got the top 4 here, 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th, and on the grass and on the curbs. Osborne goes through, or does he? The BMW of Veltman side by side. Here comes Ordonez again, having a look at his Ginetta, and there's a little touch there, but both of them carry on. Well, it works out a lot easier on PlayStation than it does in real life, but he's really taken to this. And again, Veltman's got his own back and he's in front of Osborne, who comes steaming up the inside, and he's alongside the BMW. Is he in front? Oh, and wide goes Ordonez. Picks it up, and good save there, back on track in 4th place. Let's have a look at that again. The pass going on in the background, but Ordonez just got overexcited there, lost the back end. There was a lot happening on that bit of track, and he was trying to watch all of it. Made a good save, carries on, but now we've got Osborne and Stuart Lynn side by side coming towards us. And Ordonez now trying to find a way past the BMW. So still the top 4 are locked in this battle. Stuart Lynn, our race leader for the time being. Can he hang on in front of Joe Osborne? Dropped off the back of the leading pack very early on yesterday. no problems, no trouble today. Is looking very strong, but Osborne is looking very aggressive. So too is Luca Ordone in the Nissan. The two Ginettas, BMW, and a little bit of tyre smoke from the back end of the Nissan there. Still together as they... Oh, and into Priory, up on the inside. That's a pass from Osborne. That was very cheeky. Can he keep it together? Yes. Slides his way through. And we have a new race leader, but Stuart Lynn doesn't want to give back. And he's on the inside. He's on the wrong side of the track now because they're going to go to their right now left. And he's going to have to go the wide line. And all the way through the final corner, he is wrong-footed there. That was a good move, and it was a very well-timed move from Joe Osborne. New race leader, Lynn in second place. And now Veltman would like a piece of Stuart Lynn, and he's got it going into Copse. And I just wonder if the tyres are going off in the Ginetta. Well, he's ready to fight back. Ordone on the tail end is waiting for those two to sort themselves out. Through he goes. And away, Kevin Veltman. Lynn not wanting to let him go, and he's through again. Goes straight back in front into second place. Well, this is close door handle stuff, and look what's happening in the background. Tom Dunstan is coming up on the back end of this group as they fight each other, and there goes Veltman again, going through in front of the Ginetta. Ordone now thinks it's his turn. He doesn't want to get snapped up by the Ginetta closing in behind. While these four have been scrapping, their lap times will have dropped off. They're using up all their attention, racing each other, jockeying for position instead of banging in nice, clean, fast laps. And the car behind him, fifth place, has been doing exactly that. And Tom Dunstan now is getting closer and closer. And again, that little bit of smoke from the back end of the Nissan in exactly the same place on the circuit. But look how close it is now. Race leaders cleared off, and here comes Dunstan's move up the inside of Ordone. They are side by side, they touch, they both go off. Tom Dunstan does the full 360 onto the gravel. Oh, and there he goes. Ordone has made another good save and come out in front. Let's have a look at that again. It's really difficult to see who did what to who, but you can't help thinking that poetic justice has been done as the Ginetta again comes back at Kevin Veltman. And in the background, Ordone is clear. Tom Dunstan is got to do it all again and try and catch up with them if he can. Meanwhile, we've lost the race leader because he's just cleared off. Oh, runs wide, and we have a change of place again. So Ginetta leads BMW, and is he coming back? No, the door is closed quite firmly. There was a tiny bit of an opening, but just not enough, and he wasn't close enough, didn't have track position. And now I think the BMW number 17 car of Veltman may well be losing its tyres. That may well just have started to slide wide. He definitely got a little nudge there. There was just about enough air for Stuart Lynn to get through. And now also you can see that Lucas Ordone has got through as well, up into third place. They were sixth yesterday. They're going to be third today. So we're heading towards the end. Oh, and the tyres going off on the 51 car as well. So we're getting to the end of the tyre life at the end of 40 minutes. Race leader then, Joe Osborne, on his way to a checkered flag. He hasn't got far to go. And it's going to be two in a row for Ginetta on their debut outing in the GT4 European Cup. And how pleased will that make them, especially here at home in Silverstone, although no real Yorkshireman likes to think of Middle England as being home. However, round the final corner, the checkered flag is raised. And there it goes, race two. Joe Osborne takes the flag And behind him in second place comes Stuart Lynn. Two Ginettas over the line first, ahead of a real stormer from Alex Buncombe and Lucas Ordonez in a race that was close all the way.
It was quite a good race, I'm sure, to watch on TV. I know I shouldn't admit it, but big screen around the last corner, I did glimpse a few times just to see what was happening behind. It looked like a good race, and it wasn't easy for me. I think I picked the car up from fourth. Michael handed me a perfect car, and just had to do a few moves, and it wasn't easy by all means, but good fun.
Well, you're not supposed to watch the big screen, but what else are you supposed to do when you're winning your first GT4 race?